Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch the Movie. Jay, Mike, welcome to the future of law enforcement. Robo fucking cop, oh my god, yeah! You know what, sometimes you meet a cop every once in a while that's pretty cool. You meet a guy that'll let you off, you can go on about your day and whatever, you know, alright, that's cool, thank you. And then you meet a fucking cop that's made out of robo material, metal, and you're like, okay, I mean, fucking shoot me, I don't care, you're badass and awesome. And that's what RoboCop is. I like RoboCop.
He's got a gun in his thigh and I've got a gun in my pants.
Your move, creep. The classic fucking Paul Verhoeven. Director
Verhoeven, you fucking hypocrite.
Hey, let's not
I
get
don't know
serious.
why that makes you a hypocrite. That's the only word I found.
Well, I think we'd be a hypocrite because I would say Paul Verhoeven shit. Fuck it. So RoboCop, basically.
It'd be funny if he trimmed it up for his wife a little bit. He's like, tonight I'm Paul Verhoeven.
Ew! RoboCop it came out in the late, I think mid to late 80s. It really, the whole movie is a political satire. Basically, OCP is an omni consumer products company that has pretty much bought old Detroit. They're going to turn it into Delta City. They bought the police, they bought everything, and they have this vision of the future. They want to eradicate crime. So in comes the cyborg program. They want to make a cop that never sleeps, never eats, and is always 24/7 on call to take out all parts of crime. At first they introduce ED-209 or Ed-209. He fucks up, he kills a guy.
And an awesome scene.
That was a badass scene. You gotta watch the uncut version because there's lots more blood. And it fails, so they introduce RoboCop, who is everything that's Robo and awesome.
Yeah, and
that's
they don't really want to eradicate the streets of crime. They really just want to make money because they're all corporate bastards that we all know and hate.
This is the blueprint from Bill Gates to take over the world. He's gonna watch this like one day Microsoft will fucking be like this, and we're gonna make a cyborg robot, but we're gonna load him with Windows 15, and he's gonna crash every time. He's gonna be like, nobody likes this Windows.
I picture Bill Belichick at the front of that.
Actually, you know, Bill Belichick.
He's got the evil look.
Bill Belichick would be the front line, but then Bill Gates would be in the back with his glass going, I explained it all. I mean, what can you say about how awesome this fucking movie is? Like, everything about this movie is so great. The blood, the guts, the gore, it's just a fun, exciting sci-fi adventure movie with a dark theme to it.
Yeah, well, you got the superhero feel to it because I mean it's RoboCop.
Yeah.
He's a superhero. I mean he's not a superhero, but you know he's got the metal and shit. He's unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know all this shit. But you've also got what's the best part about this movie? I think is the '80s feel to it. The terrible fucking robo animation, the stop motion animation. Like ED-209 looks like shit.
Yeah.
RoboCop in certain movements is like you know it's so like you can just tell, and it's a perfect portrayal of that time in movies, and that's what makes it so fun. You got the corny bad guys who are actually bad guys. They're not these PG-13 shit-rated versions of people. Like they curse all the time. There's lots of blood. They're fucking ruthless. They kill everybody. They drink beer and they drink fucking whiskey. Throw it through windows. They don't give a shit. They're actually like ruthless asshole bad guys.
I'd buy that for $1. You know what? That's the main bad guy is Clarence Boddikin. He's the guy from That 70s Show. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. The father in That 70s Show, Red Fox. He's a fucking awesome bad guy, and he's like a no-holds-barred, menacing bad guy. You don't know which way he's gonna go, just rip you apart. It's a shame that he really never did anything other, like more of these over-the-top villain roles, because he was really good in this. And like this movie makes no apology whatsoever about being excessively violent, excessively graphic in its violence portrayal, and just. You know what? We're gonna fucking make fun of everything about the '80s, and we're gonna do it with style because they do it. Like everything about the '80s, dude. Like the mass consumption, everything's got to be bigger, better, and bolder. And everybody's apathetic in this future, in this alternate world. Not a future, but this alternate Detroit. Because it's like people are dying left and right. The cops are gonna go on strike because the fucking corporation bought them. Like that makes sense. It's like nobody cares though.
Yeah, the Under the Gun precinct is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have shit, they don't have any money, they have no backing, they're all dying left and right, but they're still fighting. It's like, cops don't go on strike! We're not plumbers! Yeah, you've got the classic black sergeant. The only thing that, well, I don't say the only thing, but one of the things I want to say about this movie, okay, when you got the beginning of the movie and they're chasing the bad guys, first off, like you said, they're shitty cops because they should have waited for backup. You don't go after 5 badass bad guys into a room by yourself when he was just a cop. But he and her, they go in there, and first off, she fucks up the whole thing. No offense, ladies, but in movies, women always ruin everything. In movies, not real life, sometimes.
Well,
but she goes in and she's got the dude apprehended, and she's like freeze, and he's holding his dick out, and she just has to look at his dick. If she never just looked at that dick.
She had to see what it looked like.
Murphy never would have died.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Is it true?
She had to see what she got bitch slapped off the railing, and then it left Murphy all alone to be shot up by motherfuckers, like just having a field day.
That scene was awesome. As bad as you felt for him, that scene was awesome.
You know what?
That's the shit they wouldn't do today.
See, that's what we watched on Blu-ray, which they have like a more of an uncut version of it, and this was the director's true vision. I mean, it was showcasing the. I mean, I know people will say, well, it was just overly excessive to be overly excessive. There was really no point to it, but they were showing the true cruelty of these bad guys.
Yeah.
Like they're torturing this guy. They don't give a fuck about this guy, and they're just torturing him.
Yeah.
But the only thing I think it was kind of stupid. The guy got shot like by 4 shotguns, almost point blank. He had a Kevlar vest. He was still alive. Holy shit!
I'll
That's
say
fucking
that about
amazing.
it. There's a lot of moments like that, like you pointed out. There's a lot of goofs with the camera. There's a lot like when the main bad guy gets thrown out of the window, his
Yeah.
arms are like 10 feet long. And there's a lot of like technological shit. They kind of glanced over. They're like, oh no, it's the future. And then it never said it was the future, but like, oh, this can happen. They're like, we can take a human body. They never went deep into like how they did shit. And there was this overlayer of 80s cheese that for most of the movie was awesome, but sometimes it made you kind of wonder, like, what if they did take it seriously for a second? And it's a little mixed there. It's weird stuff. There's a lot of goofs with the camera. There's a lot of cheesy looking stuff that's outdated in the movie. But for all intents and purposes, it's a fun ass movie. RoboCop is a badass. It's just a cool ass movie about a giant fucking mechanical badass cop that's unstoppable. I love this movie. There's things about it that I think could have been better. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but you have a place in your heart for this movie. For me, watching it today, I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I'm gonna give it an 8.0.
Shit, I'm gonna give it a 9.0.
I can't blame
I
you.
mean, I almost go with a 10 to it. This is one of those like nostalgic childhood favorite movies of mine, and it's to me like the whole movie, the RoboCop itself is iconic of the 80s. Like it's one of those movies that are like just like Terminator. It's iconic. Like when you think of the 80s, you're gonna think of like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, RoboCop, Terminator. These really excessively violent, over the top graphic stuff, and they don't give a fuck that you're offended by. You know what? Suck a wiener. They're gonna fucking put it out there, and if you're offended, go walk out of the theater. I don't give a shit. They
I don't
care.
want to suck a wiener.
Well, you know what? If you're offended,
Why are you
by
always trying to tell me to suck a wiener?
just the whole thing, the acting, the satire of it, the music, the fucking just the portrayal of RoboCop himself, everything about it just mixed up to have this great, awesome movie. The only thing is yes, some of the special effects haven't aged that well.
Yeah.
But back then in the day, it was okay to have that stop motion clay
And it's still
animation
cool to
stuff.
see that now.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, there's a lot of this CGI shit going on. It just doesn't work anymore. But still, I mean, it's a timeless classic movie. I mean, it really will always be remembered as that kind of movie that you always look back and be like, I can watch the movie over and over again and still have fun with it.
And I agree with you.
So yeah, 9.0 for me.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So, and like I said, it's weird because some of the best parts about that movie are the parts that could be up.
Well, the only problem
the technology, and it sucks that they're going to go PG-13 with this new
Yeah,
one.
that's stupid.
Like that's a really, really huge mistake. But I just think that Kinnaman and the director are so damn good, and this movie could use an update so badly that they can overcome that.
Well,
But
I know,
we'll
but
see.
it's almost like you're running with your dick fucking hard and you hit a fucking door when it's like rated PG-13 and your dick gets slapped. It's like, we don't give a shit about what you want. I mean, it's like when you made Terminator Salvation rated PG-13. Are you fucking kidding me? It's Terminator. Don't fucking sell it to kids. That's when they went wrong with RoboCop 3 because it all of a sudden became a superhero kids movie. It's a rated R movie. That's what it was there for. It was intended for graphic violence. That's what it is. It's an over-the-top graphic movie. Also, are you there? Are you going Eminem or are you going?
I was trying to imagine my hard dick hitting a door that got slammed in front of me while I was running full speed.
Did that ever happen to you before?
It's a really deep thought.
It would hurt. I mean, I agree with you. There were some things they could have added on to, like for a fact, why didn't they have more of an oversight with RoboCop? Like, when RoboCop starts having dreams and shit, there's like 2 people in a basement in a police station, and that's it.
Yeah, there's no test mode. They're like, just put him on the street.
He's like a $20 or $50 million piece of hardware.
Yeah.
There's like nobody there, and then this is right on the heels of somebody getting shot in their fucking office after like ED2 and I have malfunction.
Yeah, and they just fucking threw him out
So
there.
you would think like there would be a little bit more oversight committee to it, and then also I guess they didn't. I mean, I didn't mind it too much, but I really wish that they had a little bit focused more on the human element to RoboCop when he started, finally realizing what he was and what it's about.
That's like they gave the whole project to Jeff Goldblum from The Fly in his weird apartment with his spot. They're like, hey, just figure this out. Then they're like, oh, you got it done? We trust you. We're good. We're going to let him on the streets. They're lucky it turned out as good as it did.
The Fly, you remember that part where he pulled his fingernail off?
Gross.
Fuck it!
But yeah, so question of the day, guys. Terminator versus RoboCop. Who wins?
It's a big one. It's a big one. Right off the bat,
They
first
actually
thing you might...
made a Super Nintendo game out.
I know,
That was
it was a great game.
That was awesome.
It was an underrated game. RoboCop versus Terminator. Right off the bat, you're gonna think Terminator's gonna win because he's lithe, he's agile, he can do things that RoboCop can't do because he's a big mechanical monster horse, badass, but he still has to move slow. But the thing is, that gives him a slight edge is his brain, his human brain, whereas Terminator is logical and determined, machine.
Yeah.
RoboCop is still human, so he can think outside the box and do things that Terminator wouldn't expect. So I'm gonna go with RoboCop.
And just like that dude building railroads against the machine, I side with the human every time. What was his name?
John Henry?
Yeah, John Henry. I side with John Henry.
Have you ever seen
RoboCop has more human elements to him, so I think that he's going to use his logistics and his brain, and he could fight that battle and win. Even though Terminator does seem a lot more agile, because there is times where RoboCop's just like. He's like Michael Myers chasing him. He's like, I can walk slow. I'm still going to catch you.
But in RoboCop, he showed he could move fast when he wanted to.
he was sneaky quick, like kind of like a white point guard in the NBA.
He's good.
They always say if you're white and you're in the NBA and you're you've made it, you're good. They always say the same thing. Or a white wide receiver in the NFL is like he's sneaky fast. It's racist, but nobody picks up on it.
He's like white chocolate from the NBA.
Jason Williams.
So yeah, that's we got really off topic there. Not racist, but yeah. So that's the question of the day. So RoboCop versus Terminator, who wins and why? Let us know in the bottom of the comments.
Dead or alive?
You're coming with me. By the way, make sure
That's
you.
what I told my wife in the bed the other night.
Did it work?
Stay tuned. What was gonna happen?
I'm
sorry, I interrupted.
No, that was
It's
the
a bit.
It happened.
It's it.
Oh, wait, he probably go. Oh, a new toy. Can I play?
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.